Great people, welcome to NameTech channel. This is lesson 7 on Pandas, and we are going to discuss how to clean data in Pandas. But then before we begin, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button, and to the returning subscribers, thank you very much for your continuous support. So guys, first of all, let's understand what is data cleaning. So essentially, data cleaning means fixing bad data in your data set, and bad data could be perhaps empty cells, or data in a wrong format, or a wrong data, or duplicates. And then guys, basically in this tutorial, I'll be using this data set to teach you. You can see you have some values here in this duration. Then perhaps you can see we have some the range of duration is between 60 to 8 or so. But then you can see that in this row 10 we have 30,000 duration. You can see that this kind of wrong data. Also here you can see in this calories section in the row 19 we have an empty cells here, and then we also have another empty cell here. So guys, basically this is the data that I want to show you how to clean and to clean with it. So guys, basically let's begin with empty cells. So guys, basically empty cells can potentially give you wrong results when you analyze, and I want to show you how to delete data, or how to solve that by removing the rows. So guys, basically one way to deal with empty cells is to remove the rows that contain empty cells, and basically this is usually okay since data sets can be very big, and removing a few rows will not have a big impact on the results. Like guys, let me show you an example how to return a new data frame with no empty cell. So basically, first of all, let me open my data. I don't know why, I think it is in this partition, actually the C drive, and then the Hemaya, and then the Pandas folder. And so guys, basically this CSV file is what is opened here in this Excel. Now guys, what I'm gonna do here, first of all, let me show you how to open it, how to read it. So how to return basically a new data frame with no empty cells. So what I do, let me say import. First of all, we are going to import the code library, the module, or Pandas. In this case we are discussing Pandas is PD alias PD. And then now here I'm gonna create a data frame df. Basically I'm gonna read it, then I'm gonna assign it to PD, the alias for Pandas, and then read underscore CSV, and then here let me copy the file path. Guys, let me just copy the file path here. Let me copy the file path, and then what I do, where I here in this notebook, let me just paste it there. Then let me ensure that I have a pair of forward slashes here for it to work well. Also here a pair of forward slash, also here a pair of forward slash, and then and so guys, basically to create a new data frame we are going to use, perhaps let me use this variable, let me say new underscore data frame df, then let me assign it to data frame dot drop now, and then use this method here, and then guys, here to the print function, let me say print we are going to print what? We are going to print a new data frame, new df, that variable dot to string. Basically I want us to return the entire data frame to underscore string method. Remember guys, that this method help us to return the entire data frame in our in our notebook. So let me run the codes, and then guys, basically you can see that there's no empty cells here. You can see, let's check on our Excel. You can see guys that on cell 19, on row 19, basically we have an empty cell here. So on the calories part, so what I do, let me check on this new data frame. It was at the cell what? It was at the cell 19. So basically it is 20. So let me check on 20, and then guys, I basically can see that there's no such empty cells here. because we have done what we have, returned a new data frame with no empty cell with this method here called drop, and basically to clear what, to remove the entire rows with empty cells. And so guys, basically if you want to change the original data frame, basically you can use the in place equals to true argument. So for example guys, let me show you how to do it, how to remove all the rows with null values. So first of all, let me copy these codes, and then to the new cell, let me paste it there. And then what I do here, let me remove this name, this variable name, let me remove it. And then here let me add this argument in place, assign it to true argument. So let me say in place, let me assign it to a true value, so that it may do it, it may remove all the rows with null values. And then here I'm gonna remove this new underscore df, this name, because we have not defined it here. And then what I do, let me run the codes. And then guys, basically this is how you can do it. This is how you can remove all the rows with null values. And basically when you check, you will not find any cell with any row with null values. So guys, let's now discuss how to replace empty cells. So another way of dealing with the empty cells is to insert a new value instead. And basically this way you do not have to delete the entire row just because of some empty cells. So basically we use the fill na method, which allow us to replace the empty cells with a value. And so guys, basically let's now understand how to replace empty values. So guys, basically another way of dealing with the empty cell is to insert new values instead. So this way you do not have to delete the entire rows just because of some empty values. Now we use the fill na method, which allow us to replace the empty cells with a new value. Like guys, let me show you how to replace null values with another number. So let me copy first of all these codes, because I don't want to repeat myself. Then to this a new cell, or let me just delete this cell. Let me use this cell here, and then guys, here we are gonna use the the fill na method, which will allow us to replace empty cells with a value. Like so guys, what I'm gonna do here, let me use this method here called what, called fill na. So let me remove these codes first of all, so that I may not confuse you. And then here I'm gonna use df dot fill, sorry, should be fill na method. Then perhaps let me replace empty cells with perhaps let me say 100. So let me say in place, add another method called argument in place. Let me assign it to in place, let me assign it to true, to a true value. And then here to the print function, here let me say df, let me remove now this one because we have not defined this variable. And then here let me assign it to basically it's okay. So guys, basically these results will replace empty cells with 100. So guys, what I do, I think the codes are okay. Let me run the codes, and then guys, basically you can see that the empty cells, basically we have replaced the empty cells with 100. So guys, let's now talk about how to replace only for specified columns. Perhaps if you want to do it, if you want to basically to correct on a certain column, because basically as you can see, it is the calorie section, calorie column that has some issues with what, with the empty values. The rest are just okay. And so guys, let me show you how to do it, how to replace only for specified columns. So guys, basically in this example that I've just shown you, basically it replaces all of the empty cells in the whole data frame. But then to replace empty values for one column, we specify the column name for the data frame. Like let me show you the example, guys, how to replace null values in the calories section where we had some issues. So to do that, guys, let me just use these codes here. Let me just customize these codes. So guys, to do that, we are going to use let me delete these codes here. Let me just delete these codes, sorry. Here let me use df, and then square brackets, and then here let me define the column that I want to delete. And let me be sure that it is the correct name. Let me be sure, sorry. It is calories, I think, here. And then what else? Where were we? So calories, here we have defined the column that we want to replace with the empty values, actually the null values. And then here let me say fill now, fill now. And then guys, what I do, let me replace perhaps with 1000, or let me use a longer value so that you may understand how it works. Then what I do, let me say in place, let me assign it to a true value, and let me assign it to a true value. And then what I do to the print function, let me say print df dot, because I want to return the entire data frame, so I'm gonna say to string underscore to underscore string method to return the entire data frame. Then what I do, let me run it. I think the codes are okay. Let me run the codes, and then guys, basically you can see that wherever we had empty cells in the column of calories, we have replaced with 10,000. I decided to use the 10,000 so that you may see how these stuffs work. Like or let me try to use perhaps something like a 5,000. Let me use a 50,000. And then let me run the codes once again, and then guys, basically you can see that we have new values here with 50,000 wherever we had the empty cells. And so guys, let's now discuss how to replace using the mean, medium, or mode. So basically a common way to replace empty cell is to calculate the mean, medium, or mode value of the column. So guys, basically Pandas uses the mean, medium, and the mode methods to calculate the respective values of a specified column. And so guys, for example, let me show you how to calculate the mean and replace any empty cells with it. So what I do, let me just copy these two lines of code here, and then let me copy Control plus C. Let me be sure that I've copied, and then to the new cell, let me just paste it there. And then here let me say what, let me create a variable. Perhaps let me just use a simple one like x. Then let me assign it to the calories section. Let me use df, then use the calories section. Then let me say calories column. Then now to calculate mean, we are going to use the mean method, main method, and then now df dot, actually the square brackets, and then let me define now the calories. Let me say calories, the calories dot fill now. So basically it will calculate the mean, and then it will fill with this fill now method, and the fill now method, and then it will replace the actually it will replace the mean wherever there is an empty cell. It will replace the mean that it will calculate here with the with basically with the empty cells. So in place, I'm gonna give it in place. Let me give it what? True. So guys, basically you can see guys, our target was cell 17, row 17, and then what in the 27 in the those are the basics. That is 17 in the 27. So that's how it will be easier for us to check it out. And then now to return the entire data frame, we are going to use this print function in the method called what? I think by now this is df data frame dot to underscore string method. Then guys, let me run the codes, and then let's check row 17, and then guys, basically you can see that it has replaced with 375. Basically it calculated the mean, and then it is replaced with 375. Let's check on 27. Also you can see that those values are equal. 375 also 17, it is at 375. So basically it calculated the mean, and then it replaced the empty cells with that with that mean value. So remember, the mean is the average value, basically the sum of all the values divided by the number of the values. So guys, let's now discuss how to calculate the median and replace any empty cell with it. Now in that case, we are going to change just the mean here to median. Median, I think, yeah. Then what I do, let me run the codes, and then let's check what 17 it is 318. Also let's check 27. Our reference is this, it is 318. So guys, basically this is how you can calculate the median and replace any empty values with it. And so guys, for mod, we are going to use the same procedure, but then we are going to add here another argument here. So we are going to change it to, let's change it to mod. Let me say mod, but then also we are going to add this argument here, this value here, this operator here. Then let me use 0, perhaps let me use 0, and then let me run the codes, and then what are we checking? Cell what? Number 17. Then again, basically you can see that it are replaced with the mod, which is 300, which is popular here. Also let's check on 27. You can see it is also 300. So guys, basically this is how you can do it. This is how you can clean data with empty cells. And so guys, basically the other thing that I want us to discuss here is how to fix wrong data. And the wrong data, guys, it does not mean to be empty cells or a wrong format. It can just be wrong. Like let's use this example. Guys, I've just interfered with it with our data. Sorry, guys, basically I've just interfered with this data set, and then you can see that in this duration column, you can see the ranges between 60, 40 or 30, but then there on row 8 you have a strange values here like 30,000. You can just guess that this one is a wrong data. It should be in a range of basically perhaps 50 or 45 or or 60 or so. So basically that, guys, this is just an example of wrong data. So let me just copy the codes, or let me copy these two line of codes. Let me copy these 2 lines of codes, and then to the new cell, let me just paste it there. And then what I do, guys, let me say let me add basically data frame, the variable here there, and then let me say log, and then square brackets. Then we are targeting which row? It is 8, row 8. So let me say 8 comma, then in the duration column, is it is a duration column. So let me say it is actually it must be in a this format, string format. So it is duration and then let me assign it to a new value, like let me just give it 50, because you can see the range is between 45 to 80 or so, or 60. So let me give it something like a 50, and then to the print function, let me say print df data frame, but then I want to print out the entire data frame. So let me say to string. Remember, this method is used to print out the entire data frame. Then what I do, let me run the codes, and then I can see, guys, on cell 8, on row 8, on the duration column, we have replaced with with the 50. But then let's now discuss another way by removing rows, the entire row. So guys, basically another way of handling wrong data is to remove the rows that are contained the wrong data, like on 12, this 12, you can see I have a wrong data here, the rest are just integers, and then we have a string there. So guys, basically let me show you how to delete the entire row with the empty basically with the wrong values. And basically that way we are going to use the first statement. So what I do here, let me delete these values first of all, and then here let me use these for statement for x in df dot index then a colon, and then here if df dot log then this square brackets, then x in the duration column, let me say duration is greater than, perhaps let me say is greater than let me say, basically as you can see we have some values here, like the values which surpass 100. So for values which are greater than perhaps let me say 100, let me say perhaps 100, then we are going to drop them. So let me say df dot drop and then drop at x, and then in place argument in place I'm gonna assign it to true, and then what I do is what I do, let me do it. Remember guys, that to include these in place true argument is to make the changes in the original data frame object instead of returning the copy. So what I do, first of all, remove the indentation there, and then let's say print df dot to string, basically to print out the entire data frame, basically to underscore string method. Then what I do, let me run the codes, and then guys, basically when you check out, you can see that all the rows with more than 100 values are done what are deleted. Basically you can see there's no such values in the these are duration column. And so guys, basically the last way to clean data is by removing duplicates, and the duplicates rows are rows that have been registered more than one time. Now guys, basically to discover duplicates we can use a method called duplicated method, and basically these are duplicated method will return boolean values for each rows. Like guys, basically let me show you an example. Like first of all guys, let me do it. Let me copy. Should I just use these codes here? What I do, let me clear this one. Let me say print df dot duplicated. It will discover all the duplicates and it will return you know, the boolean values. Like if there are duplicates, it will say true. If there's no duplicate, it will say false. So duplicated method duplicated, and then it should be, it's a method, so you must enclose with these rounded brackets. Then let me run the codes. So guys, basically this is how you can check on the duplicated values. It will return true for every row that it is duplicated. If not, it will return what these are false values. Like you can see, it returns these are false values because it's not what it's not duplicated. So guys, basically that's how you can check on the duplicated values. And to remove the duplicates, you just use the drop underscore duplicate methods to do it, to replace those duplicated values. But then I want to give you that as an assignment. I don't want to go there. But then guys, basically this is what I wanted to show you. And basically you can find the reference on the nemtech.com website. You're going to find the full reference to this you know, tutorial. So guys, basically this is what I wanted to show you in this tutorial, and I think you've gained something. Please consider subscribing, like and share the video to your friends. Until next time guys, this is Nehemiah. Goodbye.